You're listening to Snippets from the Summit with your host, Scott McKay.
Oh, how's it going, gentlemen? This is your main man, Scott McKay, coming at you again with another Snippet from the Summit as part of the Mountaintop Podcast. The title of today's episode is Stuck in the Middle. So what do I have in mind? Well, let's get right to it. I think a lot of times we as guys have heard conflicting views when it comes to women and sex. On one hand, we hear a lot, especially from the men going their own way types and the red pill guys, that women don't really like sex. They use it as a bargaining chip, yada, yada, yada with men. But then we hear from the pickup artist guys a completely different side of the story, which is if you don't give women good, hard sex, they're going to leave you and find a guy who will. So which is it? I mean, are women playing keep away with the sex, or are they really disappointed when you don't do it right with them? Well, that leaves us stuck in the middle, doesn't it? Are both of those statements true? Are they both true sometimes? Well, here's the reality. Women are stuck in the middle also in a way that's very psychologically similar to how we are. But the difference is women are stuck in the middle between being insanely horny. Yes, they really do love sex. You know, all you have to do is read My Secret Garden by Nancy Friday from like 50 years ago and realize women have depraved, horny fantasies. Look at how much women love romance novels, and there's a lot of really horny fantasy in there, right? So yes, women are really horny, but they're stuck in the middle between potentially acting out on that and looking like a slut, and worse, being made to feel like a slut by the men who would slut shame them. So meanwhile, while women are busy feeling like that, we as guys aren't really reading the room very well, and we're not sure which extreme is the reality between the two we've heard. Do women just not like sex at all, or are they really, really starving for great sex and we're not giving it to them? Well, somewhere there has to be a middle ground, and I think for a lot of guys, man, it's like the DMZ between North Korea and South Korea. You know, I really have to aim for this super small piece of real estate somewhere, or I'm not going to be in the neutral territory and I'm going to get in trouble. Well, where is that middle ground that can help us feel a lot better about balancing these two apparently competitive notions? Now, for a brief moment, let me remind you how women tend to really feel about sex. Yes, they love sex and they're extremely horny, but they don't want to look like dirty whores. That would greatly affect their self-esteem, perhaps their social reputation, and even how other men would look at them. Well, that middle ground, that DMZ you're looking for, so that you can find the middle rather than feeling like you're stuck in it, actually plays out something like this. When you meet a woman and you're getting to know her, you know, you're going to come off as your charming, likable, connectable self, as I talk about all the time. You're going to let your masculine energy carry you, and she will respond in a way that's favorable enough to you that you ask her out on a date. So you go on the first date, you find that you like each other. You find that you get along, and voila, you get a second date. Now, there's a slim chance, but it is a real chance, that that second date might be what's called a mercy date. She wasn't really feeling it. She wasn't really into you, but her friends put her up to giving you another chance because maybe you're a really nice guy and she shouldn't write you off that quickly and that easily. So you go out on the second date, and it goes well. And so you go out on the third date, and you've probably heard time and time again that the third date is when a lot of people have sex. Well, why is that? Well, because there's no such thing as a third date mercy date. If the two of you are on a third date together, that means you're attracted to each other. You don't want to be just friends. Now, if you get past the third date, you get past the fourth date, and you're not making any move to show this woman you're sexually attracted to her, what may happen is she might enact what I call a preemptive strike. She may say things like, well, you know, you and I, it just seems like we should just be friends. And what she means by that is that's where this seems to be heading anyway, because you didn't lead. So since I'm feeling a little insecure because, you know, I thought you were attracted to me, but you won't make a move like a normal red-blooded heterosexual guy, I'm either going to assume maybe you're still in the closet and not really heterosexual, and or maybe it's about me. This has all been a ruse and you don't find me sexually attractive. But she's going to protect her dignity in that context by telling you, hey, you know what? I don't think this is going anywhere. Let's just be friends. That's when you may take this personally and go, see, I don't know how to attract women. All of this was just a big ruse. Maybe she was getting me to take her out and spend money on dinner or movies or whatever it was I was spending money on. And then you start feeling badly about the women you're going out with. But gentlemen, what should have happened on that third date when you knew that she knew you were attracted is you should have said something. And listen, it doesn't have to be this big, elaborate Hollywood leading man production of having just the right words and the amazing amount of charm that you require to reel in the biscuit and get her naked. It could be as simple as like, hey, you know, this is the third date and it's time for me to tell you I like you. Or you know what? I find you insanely sexy. And this can be what breaks the proverbial ice in the middle of a perfectly mundane conversation like you've been having for the first 2 dates about the weather or whatever. But the fact is, you will have broken the silence about how you find her attractive. And that's all you need to do. And then from there, considering this is a third date, 100% of the time, and you don't hear me say that often, gentlemen, but always, she'll take it well. She'll be glad to hear it. Most men are afraid she's going to throw her fork in her plate, get up and leave and go, oh my God, what a pervert. And I don't ever want to see you again because you finally stood up and showed up with some sexual interest. Guys, remember, women are stuck in the middle between feeling like, man, I'm horny and I really need an orgasm and I need a guy to give it to me, a guy like you, by the way, and I don't want to look like a slut. So the bottom line here is when you've made her feel safe and comfortable, not only with you, but that you're the kind of man who has situations handled, yeah, she's feeling horny for you and she wants you to make that move. Otherwise, this would have been over after the second date and you could take that to the bank. Guys, go ahead, find that middle ground. Look for her to be female, look for her to be flirtatious, and finally believe what your lying eyes are telling you. Take a chance. It isn't even really a very risky one when you get right down to it, and tell her you find her sexy. From there, you're going to see things move forward sexually every time. Want to talk about this or anything else? Scott at mountaintoppodcast.com. Be good out there.
As always, visit mountaintoppodcast.com for more.